I hope you guys are having a good day so far, and we have Singapore up today, where we troll McLaren just a little bit, but safety cars and red flags change the race. We're off to Singapore. We don't have tons to do before the race. It's only 4 days after Baku, and so we're heading off to Singapore, where we're going to look to be getting better than 18th and be getting better than 21st, because he has the worst car, so we're hoping for a crash here in Singapore. All right, so with a wet track and us, hopefully we get to qualify rather well. At least with Award, we've got damp conditions the entire race, and so I'm hoping that we are going to be able to really get ourselves going and get hopefully into maybe a position to score some points if some disasters happen for some other teams. Grosjean has some powertrain issues already. This is his one last, technically good engine, even though it has minor damage to it. We're just gonna roll. We're gonna just see how long that bad boy lasts, because once that one's out, we're gonna have to buy a new one, and we're already in debt. We're already past the cost cap, and so hopefully that lasts the end of the season. We're just living on a prayer. Living on a prayer. Hopefully that doesn't make the cut. All right, so here we go. Qualifying lap number 1 in queue number 1. Nobody else is out on the track because everybody else thinks it's way too wet, which I agree with them, but this is their confidence lap. Confidence lap going in for Award. Award's looking great. Award's looking great. And Award gets significant confidence. He's now very high, and both guys have had good laps here. Good laps, as in they set their fastest lap, as in this is their first lap of the day. All right, so here we go. Award hitting his final lap. We're going to run into some clean air issues, even though Award looks like he's going to be perfectly fine now. He has clean air, but Grosjean is following Hamilton. Hamilton and him are on the same flying lap here, and Award goes 6th, and Grosjean gets 15th. So Grosjean is going to move on into queue number 2, and Award gets shuffled back to 8th. Albon has a penalty going into this weekend. So does Daniel Ricciardo, Esteban Ocon, and Logan Sargent's going to be starting in the very back. But Grosjean looks like 15th. That would be fantastic. Honestly, 16th would be fantastic for him. All right, so here we go. Track details. Track details for this one. It looks like at the very, very tail end is when the track is going to be the fastest right now. And so that's what we're going to be aiming for. I'm going to try to get us to the point where we go out kind of what we did last time, very, very close to the end, so that we can possibly set an even faster lap. But everybody's out. Award is leading the way. So here we go. Flyers for Award and Grosjean. And let's see how long Award can hold on to the purples. Award's purples have gone away pretty quickly, so maybe Sonoda's going faster than him. I think Sonoda is going much, much faster than him, and so Award's going to go 38.59. Grosjean should be going slower. About a second slower than him, and then it looks like Sonoda goes almost a second faster than Award, even though Award still has the fastest purple, the fastest third sector. Bottas is slower, and we'll see how we shuffle out. All right, so here we go. We are getting into the final lap of queue number 2, and the rain is a little bit less, so we should be going faster. Award is on the bubble at 11th, but not everybody's out on the track. Grosjean is sticking in 16th. Hopefully he gets faster than Valtteri Bottas, but here comes Award throwing a better lap. He's going to jump all the way up into 6th, and Grosjean's going to jump into 13th. So I didn't get to see who we dropped out then. And so if Team Andretti is up here with Pato Award, it looks like the Red Bulls are might be leading the line here. It looks like Lance Stroll gets shuffled out. And I didn't even see Oscar Piastri and Fernando Alonso went out in queue number 1. So if you saw that, you are ahead of me right now. And so that's very interesting. We have a couple people that have been shuffled back, and it's going to be very hard to pass since it's going to be raining. I think it's supposed to be heavy rain in the race as well, and so it's going to be just a rainy weekend here in Singapore, and it looks like Award is going to have a good starting position, going to hold some people up for everybody, create long, fun trains, and so hopefully Award is able to stick around for a little while. So Award starting in queue number 3. All right, so obviously we're just throwing Award out there quite early, and this is the time. This is the time to send your drivers out. So everybody's coming out. Everybody's coming out. Award's gonna have clean air. So is Perez and Ocon, but guys like Norris, Verstappen, Russell are going to be struggling behind maybe slower cars, especially Verstappen's going to be struggling behind those two Mercedes, because the Mercedes are probably the fourth best car on the grid. They're not probably, they are the fourth best car on the grid. And so Award's going to start his flyers, and let's see what happens here. Does Award jump Verstappen, because Verstappen's going to get very much held up by Russell? If you guys are checking it out, I'm not checking out Award as much, but I'm checking out Verstappen and Russell, and it looks like Award's going to go a 36.5. Let's see where everybody else comes out to. And so here comes Perez. Perez jumps. He's 1.3. Ocon slower. The Prancing Ponies are faster, and Verstappen is faster as well. And so it looks like we just beat the Alpine, which we are faster than the Alpines right now, so we're going to be starting 9th. Oh, there's a wreck! So in the middle of qualifying, somebody wrecked. I couldn't see who, but somebody wrecked. It red flagged and ended qualifying. Somebody wrecked, and it's not going to tell me. It's one of the guys who has 4 laps. So it was either Russell or Perez or somebody like that. So sadly, I can't show you guys that, but very, very interesting going in. Ocon is going to have a penalty, and so Lance Stroll is going to start in the top 10. So we've got a crazy, crazy race coming up. Crazy race. And so we've got anywhere from, I mean, we're starting out with a ton of rain. We're going to go underneath that threshold, and then we're going back to craziness, and then going back down. And so we might do something. I mean, at this point, we got to kind of throw some Hail Marys. So we're gonna design this one. We'll probably keep this one about the same. Yeah, we'll probably keep it about the same. See, and we'll kind of turn up our pacing here. All right, so we're gonna go with 2 different strategies here. I'm gonna go to Grosjean, so you guys. Oh, Grosjean's starting 11th. I'm gonna show you guys Grosjean so that you guys can see kind of what we're doing. Since he has such a terrible car, we're gonna try to get as much tire advantage as possible in this race. And so here's what we're doing. We're gonna go start on wets because it's wet, and then we're gonna go inters because it's inner weather. And then it's going to go back up to wet weather, and so we're just going to roll the dice and go, hey, we're going to pit, and we're going to go as hard as we can, try to catch back up, and then we're going to go and pit again, and then try to re-catch back up again and maybe make some passes along the way. I don't know how well this is going to work, but look, we're not going to lose much if it doesn't work. And so, Award, we're going to play it a little bit more safe, unless we feel like Grosjean's doing a lot better, and then I think we might switch to Grosjean. We'll kind of feel it out as we go along. Safety cars, all that stuff is going to dictate the pacing as well. All right, and so we have the 5 red lights, and they are out. And here we go.
Away we go.
Lights out and away we go. And we are starting at 9th and 11th. Let's go ahead and go on board with Pato Award. So on board with Award, it looks like we're going to be able to cover off Lance Stroll quite early. And now we're looking right at the rear wing of Yuki Tsunoda. It's a very interesting starting grid. Ocon qualified 10th. He's now in 22nd. Daniel Ricciardo and Piastri and Alonso are all starting in 14th and 15th right now. It is going to be a very, very wet day, so we're going to DRS is never going to be enabled today. That's how wet it's going to be. It's never going to be enabled. If it does, it'll be for just a few laps. It's not going to be anything significant, and so this is how we're going to be rolling all day today. We're going to be trying to save battery to then go and attack people if we're trying to make passes. But quite honestly, we're just going to be holding on for dear life and trying to hold on to the positions that we already have, because it's just going to get wetter until about lap 15 to 20. And it looks like Leclerc is going to go and try to jump out to his pretty significant lead here. And the interesting storylines, so a couple storylines to keep in mind as we're going along here, is we have the Ferraris and the Red Bulls and McLarens fighting for the Constructors Championship. And right now we have Leclerc and Carlos Sainz out in front. At this point, unless Carlos Sainz wrecks a few times, I don't think that he is going to lose the Drivers' Championship, and that means he's going to come to us when right after he wins the Drivers' Championship with the Prancing Ponies. And so I don't know how excited he is about that, but we offered him a lot of money. He is going to be one of the best paid drivers on the grid. We offered him over $20 million, 20 million, pounds, whatever it is. I don't know what it is in this game. I don't know if it's in pounds or if it's in dollars because I'm an American or whatever it is. But that's an interesting storyline. Keep our eye on as we go throughout this race. Do the Ferraris run away? Because Hamilton is currently losing disconnection, and that means Verstappen, Norris, and Perez are all getting stacked up behind Hamilton. And now we're losing connection with Yuki Tsunoda. Hopefully Grosjean, Magnussen, Bottas all do a job against Piastri and Alonso early on so that we can run away with a Ward. So let's see what happens in this race. I'm excited. I think that there might be points on the board. All right, so we're going to keep track of Piastri throughout this race. He has already gotten by Valtteri Bottas, and Bottas is now struggling. And so hopefully Magnussen can keep him behind so that Grosjean doesn't have to. But here's the question, is that it doesn't look like Stroll is able to get by us. And so that might not be too big of a deal for us. Stroll, it just seems like he gets into the dirty air and is not able to really get a good run. And so my question is, are the Aston Martins, obviously they're better than our car, but are they not better enough to get by people and pick their way through the field? I don't know. And so let's go on board with Alonso. Valtteri is very much struggling here. And I haven't really seen Piastri really get a good run on Magnussen, and we're still holding up the field here. And so it's looking pretty decent for us. It's still very early on in the race, and so we're going to keep track of this as we go along because we're not going to make a pass. I'm not sure if Stroll's going to get a good enough run on us to make a pass on us. And we're going to save battery so that if Piastri makes it through Alonso, we're going to play a little bit of a hold-up game with McLaren just to screw up McLaren so that they can't get back into the Constructors Championship, ruin their day as we start taking some of their people in deep and them having to take our old people. And so as we're talking, it looks like Alonso is going to try to go to the inside of Valtteri Bottas, but Bottas is going to have the inside of both of those. He's going to have the inside of that turn, and that's just, he's going to cover him right off again. There is a yellow flag, and something has happened to Award. Award has spun. Let's check out Award spin. And this is just plain. That's awkward. That's awkward. This is just not a great place to do that. So now he's only 1 second in front of Grosjean here, and so I'm gonna go ahead and try to get away from Grosjean a little bit. And so we're gonna spend a little bit of battery to try to get away from Grosjean. So now Stroll is significantly up the road from us, and we're not going to see him for the rest of the race. Quick update, it looks like Piastri is now trying to hunt down Grosjean. He's looking to the inside of Grosjean, not able to make the pass there. That means I'm going to go ahead and cut out the battery usage of Award. He is faster, naturally faster than Grosjean, and so we're going to cut out the battery there just so that we have battery to defend with. And he's going to look to the inside of Grosjean again. He's not going to be able to complete the move, so we're not going to put on the battery quite yet. I am being dead serious. We're going to try to hold him up. As this is happening, Alonso has now gotten past Valtteri Bottas. And now Grosjean is fighting his hardest to stay in front of Piastri, and Award is now getting away from Grosjean, which is fantastic. Grosjean is doing his job early on in this race and holding up the entire field. All right, so Piastri is going to get a run out of the final turn here, crossing the start-finish, and he is not going to be able to get a good enough run on Romain Grosjean. Grosjean's going to continue to stay in front and continue to back him up. And it looks like Award is starting to make up a little bit of time on Lance Stroll. Maybe we do have a better car in the wet than the Aston Martins. Who knows? Let's see if that happens. Lance Stroll's not a good driver, and so that might be also affecting it as well. But Piastri is a good driver, and now he is about 5 seconds. He started about 3 seconds behind Award due to Grosjean backing him up, and he's now about 5 seconds behind Award. And if we can continue to back him up, let's check out the tires here as we're going along. Piastri's just kind of chilling out on the tires. So is Leclerc and Sainz. They've got fantastic tire saving right now. And Grosjean continues to back him up. It looks like he's going to look down the inside. We're going to throw on deploy, see if that helps. But that was a fantastic move by Oscar Piastri. We're going to keep the battery on just to see if we can get back maybe in front of Piastri. I don't think it's going to happen. And Alonso is now right behind us, as now Alonso is also taking K-Mag in about 2 laps. Alonso has gotten past Valtteri Bottas and K-Mag, and now I don't think that Grosjean is going to be able to keep up with Piastri. So we're going to cut out the battery, and let's see if Award can keep Piastri behind him. All right, so we are just about 3 laps later, and we are on board with Piastri. He has officially caught up to Award. Grosjean's doing his thing, backing up Alonso even further. And so if there is a crash up in the top 10, Award will definitely be able to hop on that. But all that being said, we still need Grosjean to stay in front, and we need Award to just defend for his life here. Let's see how many laps before the pit stops start, and pit stops are going to start in lap 24. So he's got 14 some odd laps to trying to defend for his life here. Piastri's looking low. He's looking down, looking to the outside of Award. I think he's going to try to brake a little bit later than Award. Award's going to cover him off, and then we're going to use a little bit of battery to try to stay away from Piastri here. All right, so a little bit of battery right there to try to get back out from Piastri. Trying not to let him get too close to us. We're going to worry about the fuel saving a little bit later in the run, just because we're going to try to stay in front of these guys as long as we can. Piastri's going to look up the inside once again. He's going to take a awkward corner. He's going to corner really awkwardly right there. Piastri's being super aggressive, trying to get by everybody to try to get into the top 10 and start tracking down some of these guys, because if he gets by us, he's going to track down Stroll very quickly. He'll take Stroll eventually, and then he'll be able to track down all the way probably past Russell if he has the opportunity for the rest of the race. Obviously, he's not going to do it in 14 laps, I don't think, but he does have the car to be able to track down some of these top 10 runners, and then if he gets lucky with some sort of safety car or something like that, I'll put him right back into the running. But it does look like, as we're taking a look at the top 10, it does look like Leclerc and Sainz are leading the way, and Hamilton continues to hold up Verstappen, Norris, and Perez. And so that's a good thing for the Ferraris. A good thing for Sainz, continuing to expand his lead over Verstappen, who's the only one close enough to get his Drivers' Championship. That's really going to just kind of solidify him as the champion. I think Verstappen will have to win a few races, and Sainz will have to crash out. He'll have to DNF in a few races, and I'm not sure if that is going to happen. And I think Piastri might try to go and try to lunge a little bit late, and we're going to deploy just a little bit out of these few turns just to pull out in front of Piastri just a little bit more, just to try to create a little bit of distance between us and Piastri. There we go. Just trying to keep distance from him a little bit. Trying to manage that distance so that we can stay in front of Piastri as long as we possibly can. Continue to hold him up and continue to hold on to 10th place as long as we possibly can. Mess up McLaren is the name of the game today. All right, screw up McLaren, and because we hate them. We don't like the orange. Okay, the papayas can go home. We don't care about him. Piastri's going to look down the inside of Award going into, I think that's turn number 1. He's not going to be able to do it. Award is going to be able to cover him off, and we're on lap 13. We've been able to keep Piastri behind us for a few laps now, which is absolutely fantastic. And Grosjean is continuing to still do a job against Alonso. That's got to be really frustrating to the Aston Martin, the 2-time champion. So Piastri might actually be close enough here to take Award. He's going to go into Award slipstream. He's going to look around the outside. He is not going to switch back to the inside, and Award is going to continue to cover him off here. Award doing a fantastic job keeping Piastri behind him. Piastri got by Grosjean on lap I think on lap 7. And for the last 5 laps, he has not been able to get past O'Ward. And so really, really messing up and screwing up Piastri's race because he is over. He is now, he's almost 20 seconds behind Tsunoda in 8th place. And so I don't know how much he will be able to recover without any sort of safety car or just kind of luck. And definitely Alonso is probably not going to get points today either, unless he has a little bit of luck, just because Grosjean has done such a great job holding him up, and I'm not sure how much better the Aston Martin is than our car. And so I think that we're doing a fantastic job, kind of screwing up people's races. I think we're just kind of trolling. I think Team Andretti right now is in the trolling mode, right? We're competitive for maybe 10th with a little bit of luck. And after that, we're probably, O'Ward's probably going to get, 11th, 12th, 13th, something like that in most races, just if nothing really major happens. And so we're just trolling McLaren, and I love it. I love that we are the trolls right now. We are the ones who are trying to mess everybody else up, trying to mess with the Drivers' Championship a little bit, well, the Constructors' Championship a little bit, as Piastri is looking to get around him on the longest straight of the day here, and I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do it. He's going to try to brake a little bit later, and O'Ward is going to be able to, I think we're going to be able to keep it. Award, go. Award, go. No! Piastri got by us! No! All right, so it'll be interesting to see if Piastri can get back into the race more than 10th place, as Grosjean is now really holding up Alonso. He's almost 15 seconds behind us. All right, so Fernando Alonso has finally gotten past Romain Grosjean. I hate this camera. Like, what is up with these cameras? You can't see. You can't see what happened. He was able to go down the inside of Grosjean, and Grosjean finally had to let him go. He's now almost 15 seconds. I think he's like 15 seconds. He's 15.6 seconds behind O'Ward. We'll see if he catches up. And we'll see if we're able to keep K-Mag and Bottas behind Grosjean. Oh, there's a red flag! There's a red flag! What has happened? I think Gasly and Sargent. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. We wanted something in the top 10. This wasn't worth the red flag. I've declared it wasn't worth the red flag. Nah, we can keep racing. They're not in the way. They're not in the way. Okay, the American messed up the American running of our car. We are the American team, and the American, it messed us up. Logan, what is wrong with you, man? So this is going to definitely change our race strategy a little bit. We're going to go on to intermediates. With both drivers, and then as we restart the race, maybe we can get in front of Piastri again, and then hold him up some more. That would be pretty funny. All right, so we've restacked them, re-rack them, and we are going to get the 5 red lights again, and away we are going to go. And so lights out, away we go. Let's pause just for a second. Let's deploy. And let's really see what is happening with the weather. So now it's all changed up. So we're going to all start on inters. All right, we're going to destroy our inters. We're going to go to wets. We're going to go back to inters. We're going to go to wets. I think that's the only shot that we have to possibly get points in this race, is if we just if we crush the tires. I don't know. Maybe that's a bad choice. Maybe it's not. I'm not entirely sure. Or maybe it's worth staying on inters and then going to wets a little bit later. That might be the play. So staying on inters, so we know that everybody's probably going to stay on inters and get slower. And if people start going into the pits, we'll do the same. And then we'll go back to interweather. And then maybe at the end, if we have enough space, we go on to wet weather tires and try to retake people. We're just going to be at normal pacing. All right, here we go. Let's hop on board with O'Ward.
Overtake available.
Hopping on board with O'Ward and Stroll and Piastri. See, this is exactly what Verstappen needed. Logan Sargent has a penalty for the next one. Alonso is going to stay behind us. Grosjean almost retook Alonso there. And now it's going to be the question of, can we keep up with Stroll and Piastri? So this is exactly what Piastri needed. It was what Verstappen needed, even though he was not able to get past Hamilton. Leclerc, Sainz, and Hamilton, and then Verstappen. It really hasn't changed up top here. But now Piastri is going to probably be able to, not hopefully, it's probably going to be able to take Stroll and maybe Russell a lot quicker. And then hopefully we're able to just kind of keep everybody behind us as we go along here. We'll see how everything unstacks itself. The good part is that now everybody's closer. There might be another yellow flag. People up front might be getting aggressive and possibly getting into hitting each other and possibly crashing. So that does help us there, as more red flags and yellows breed cautions. Cautions breed cautions and stuff like that. Something happened with Grosjean. I think he attempted to get past Alonso and it didn't work out for him. So Alonso looks like he's going to try to make the move on O'Ward, and he's not able to do it. So Alonso's now going to be a problem. It's why I didn't really want to see the red flag if it was people in the back like Gasly and Sargent. Because Alonso was, he was like 16 and a half seconds behind us or something crazy like that. And so that would have been nice to keep as we were going here, but now O'Ward's got to fend off Alonso quite a bit. But Piastri has not been able to get by Stroll in the beginning, but Norris got by Verstappen. And so that's really not going to help Red Bull, as they are in second place in the constructors. And Verstappen is in second. He's going to very much lose. I'm declaring it now. Sainz is probably going to win the Drivers' Championship, and he's going to come to our team. So we're going to have a championship driver on our team most likely next year. And so and it looks like Alonso's going to get a great run, but great defense by O'Ward, just stacking him, keeping him behind us. And the fastest lap is now gone to Perez. I think we're going to start seeing whoever has the fastest lap after kind of this stint is going to have the fastest lap for the race. Because I am not sure if it is going to get much drier than this at any point else in the race. I'm not sure if other people are pushing, but it looks like Alonso might get by us here. But we get a great exit out of that corner, and we're gonna retain 11th. And as that was going on, it looks like Grosjean and K-Mag are duking it out, and so we're gonna deploy through the next turn on Grosjean to try to get right by Kevin Magnussen. And Magnussen's going to have that inside track, though. And I'm not sure if we're going to be able to retake Magnussen. Magnussen might just go away from us. And so, but Grosjean's going to hit his race target of 21st or better. And so we're going to get some money for Grosjean finishing. There goes Alonso. Alonso's trying to go up the inside of O'Ward. We're going to deploy on O'Ward to try to stay in front of Alonso. And we're going to have the inside of this turn as well. Alonso's going to brake just a little bit later, and we're going to back out, and we're not going to be able to hold on to Alonso. So now Kevin Magnussen is going to be the next person that has a possibility of overtaking us, and Grosjean's going to continue to try to back up the field a little bit. We'll see if Magnussen is able to catch us. All right, and so Valtteri Bottas was able to overtake Grosjean. I think this is going to happen a lot to Grosjean now that people have caught back up to Grosjean. And so there goes Valtteri, and I think that Grosjean's going to continue to fall back, probably end up in 20th today. On lap 27, just a little update. Daniel Ricciardo got by Grosjean. Grosjean's continuing to hold more people up. Magnussen is starting to drop back, but Ricciardo's starting to pick his way through the field. Piastri got by Stroll, so now he's on to Russell and Tsunoda. But interesting enough, Norris better on the inters than he was on the wet tires. We're actually about to go to wet tire weather. And Leclerc got tracked down by Norris, so Norris might be trying to just will his way up. There is a yellow flag. Yellow flag. I don't know what's going on here. Car has spun. Is that O'Ward who has spun? No, O'Ward's not spun. Zhou spun. Of course he did, because he's the worst driver on the grid. And so Zhou Guan Yu, I think that's the same spot that O'Ward spun in earlier. So that might guarantee Grosjean not getting 20th. He might get 19th instead. We're now at lap 35. A little update for you guys as we're going along in the race. There's not a whole lot going on. Honestly, Grosjean lost a spot to Hulkenberg. Now he's dropped 10 seconds behind Hulkenberg. It continues to hold up the field. But Magnussen has not really gotten close. We can't catch back up to Alonso. But the things that are happening at the front of the field that are really deciding some of the stuff that's going on in the Drivers' Championship. Piastri has not been able to get past Russell. That is a massive issue for Piastri. Piastri's got to get by Russell because he needs to take Tsunoda so he can put himself back up here with the Red Bull so that they can track down Red Bull to possibly get second place. Multiple cars have crashed. I think Grosjean has crashed. Let's see what's happened. And yeah, here comes Albon. Albon's trying to make the pass on Romain Grosjean, and they just hit wheels, and Grosjean almost went off the track, but was able to save it. We'll see if somebody gets a penalty out of that, and we'll get him a little bit farther out in front of Albon. As Albon's trying to take him right there, and so Albon's going to try to take Romain Grosjean. Grosjean's going to have the inside track of this turn, and it looks like he is going to try to turn on the battery, and he is not going to be able to do it. Albon just a little bit better through the corners than Grosjean is, and Grosjean's not going to be able to keep up with Albon. So a little update on lap 42. Piastri has now gotten by Russell, and Russell actually got taken by Stroll as well. But now he's up to Tsunoda, so he might be able to take Tsunoda, and I think Tsunoda's holding him up. He actually might be able to go and catch Perez a little bit. Grosjean comfortably in 18th, and Award is comfortably in 12th as well. We'll see if Alonso is able to catch Russell. We'll see what happens there. But we're about to start pit stops, and once again there's a yellow flag going on. What has happened? Something has happened to Grosjean. Grosjean, I think, spun. Oh, Grosjean crashed. Let's see what's happened to Grosjean. So here comes Grosjean. Grosjean is going to... He's gonna just barely clip the wall. He's gonna barely clip the wall.
Thankfully, though, they come away from that unharmed.
So not too bad, and it looks like Joe is really struggling out there, so he's going to be perfectly fine. Yeah, you're going to be fine. We're not going to replace your front wing. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. And so eventually here in the next few laps, it is going to start getting very wet, so we're going to throw on at least wet weather tires for Grosjean, and then we'll look at it for Award to see if it's worth it. To try to make a few passes and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. All right, there is a safety car. A safety car going on in Hamilton. Hamilton's done.
Safety car.
All right, so safety car going on. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to roll the dice with both. We're going to roll the dice with both drivers here. We're going to go ahead and pit for wet weather tires. It looks like everybody's going to go to wet weather tires, and so Hamilton's now retired. Let's see if we can hop on these tires, maybe make a pass, and then bring it home. All right, so the safety car is going in this lap. We're going to turn on the battery. We've got everything on. We are going to go hard pacing. We're going to be attacking to the finish. I think everybody's going to be attacking to the finish. Maybe this will increase the likelihood of another crash. That would be nice, especially in the top 10, so that we can get some points out of the weekend. But here we go. We are going to get started right now. Are we diving down the inside? Are we allowed to do that? We're going to take a weird turn right there. But we're going to go in, and here we go. We have deployed right out of that final turn. We're going to go into the slipstream of Alonso, and we are going to look to... Oh, there goes K-Mag! And Kevin Magnussen's going to try to make the pass on to us. As we were trying to get back into the top 10, Kevin Magnussen has decided to screw that up. Well, the Haas. Okay, we're retaking the Haas. Good. All right, and we're gonna have the better spot there, and so we're gonna put Kevin Magnussen behind us. I was about to be real mad at Kevin Magnussen for a second, as Award's gonna try to go and look up the inside of Alonso, and Award's not gonna make it. Is not gonna be able to have enough speed to get to Alonso. But we're right at the rear wing of Alonso right now. And so Alonso is going to look at possibly trying to get by Russell. This is once again just jumping up the field. And so Sainz is now taken by Verstappen. So Verstappen is in front of Sainz. He is going to take a podium. And then Papaya also has Lando Norris up in the top 10. Leclerc has been leading almost, I think, every single lap of this race so far. And so Leclerc is looking comfortable up there. I believe he won pole, and he has has led every single lap. So great job by Leclerc so far. And then Perez, Stroll, Russell, Alonso. So Alonso has a chance to take Russell if he doesn't get taken by Award right here. Award looking down the outside, not thinking about going down the inside there and risking it. But we are very, very competitive here, trying to get right by Alonso. We've got a good run on Alonso right here. We're going to try to go down the outside, switching up back to, I guess this might be the outside of Alonso. We're going to try to brake just a little bit later, try to get around Alonso and try to get to the inside of Alonso right here. And so we're going to use the battery to just engage Alonso. And now we're going to have to let Alonso through. We got a little scared, and that's okay. That's okay. With 5 to 6 laps to go, we have a yellow flag. A yellow flag. I'm not sure what has happened, but it doesn't look like it's significant. Leclerc ran wide. Leclerc running wide is actually huge. Leclerc running wide is huge. He was in first place. Norris was challenging him. Leclerc goes wide, and now he's lost a lot of spots. Oh, man. And so now Charles Leclerc has been shuffled back, and now Norris, Verstappen, and Piastri, who were holding up at the beginning of the race, is now in third. And so the prancing ponies who were holding down podium positions before the red flags, the safety cars, are now in 4th and 5th. And now McLaren is making their way back into the championship. Norris leading the way, Verstappen, Piastri, and the 2 Ferraris are holding 4th and 5th. We've really unalived these tires. Really, really bad. So what we're going to try to do is on this lap, we're going to try to stay in front of Daniel Ricciardo, and then we're going to try to use the battery on the final lap to just keep him away, and we'll just kind of guarantee ourselves a spot if we're able to keep Danny Rick behind us for this lap. Danny Rick also has a little bit of damage, so that is going to significantly help us. But RB does have a better car than us. It's proven by Tsunoda being in 6th place. Verstappen has fallen behind Norris. It looks like Norris, unless he spins, is going to take this race home, and Papaya's going to have another win in the bag. And that might be McLaren's first win of the season. I'll have to check. It might be Norris' second win. But really, the storyline of this race right now, as we're seeing if Danny Ricciardo can get by Award, is that Leclerc and Sainz were in the driver's seat of this race, and safety cars and red flags have really messed them up. That has significantly that took Leclerc and Sainz were almost, I guess, 10 seconds in front of the field at one point, and then the red flag happened, and then after that the safety car happened, which scrunched them back up again, as they both had podium positions, and Leclerc looked like he was going to run away with the race. And now Norris capitalizes on Leclerc's mistake of running wide and challenging him. And now the constructors, it looks significantly different now that, Piastri has lucked out to get onto the podium. We're going to go ahead and deploy out of this turn to now we can go and just run on battery the entire time to try to bring 11th home. But that has significantly changed the complexion of the constructors. We'll see if Red Bull is able to stay out in front of McLaren at this point, but McLaren's going to make up a few spots on the Ferraris, and that might end up getting them back into a position where they might be able to really contend for the last few races if they can have performances like this. So here goes Lando Norris. He's going to finish almost 7 seconds in front of Max Verstappen, and it looks like Max, and then Piastri's going to try to take Max at the very end, but he's not going to be able to. And so let's go ahead and head back to Ricciardo and Award, and we are just trying to use as much battery as possible, just trying to keep these tires from just kind of absolutely crapping out on us. And looks like Perez is going to come home with 7th. That should really irk Red Bull. He's obviously re-signed to Red Bull for another season or two. Even in this game, I believe he's going to be re-signed with Red Bull. And it doesn't look like Danny Rick is going to be able to get by Award. And there it is. So Award's going to hang on to 11th place. And Grosjean's going to end up in 18th. All right, and so here's what happened is that now Lando Norris, Max Verstappen, and Piastri all get onto the podium, and that's going to shuffle back Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz. He was leading for he got pole and almost led the entire race until the very end, until his mistake cost him. And so Lando, Verstappen, Piastri, Alonso was able to make up 6 places, looking good. What's this going to do to the driver's standing? Not much, to be totally honest with you. It's not going to do a whole heck of a lot, as Sainz is pretty significantly out in front. Max Verstappen has got to put together a few wins, but that was Lando Norris' second win of the season, and so that is good for McLaren. And here's what it looks like for the Drivers' Championship. I thought I remembered it being a little bit closer, but it does bring McLaren closer to Red Bull, as I think now it's going to be decided between second and third place for the Constructors Championship. Thank you guys so much for joining me. My name is Ben, and I am Baldman Gaming. If you guys like this video, like, subscribe, comment down below. I'd love to talk to you guys in the comment section. And then, as always, peace out. God bless.